What you're looking at here, my friends, is our first glimpse into the battery electric future of Lexus. Let's get into it. All right, so this image, before I start talking about it and breaking it down, Car Scoops was the first to bring this image that I found to the Western market. Apparently, this is sourced out of Lexus in Japan, but I checked their Instagram pages. There's nothing there on this vehicle. I also checked the American page. Of course, there's not going to be anything there on this vehicle. If I go to the global Lexus press room, there is no teaser here. So I'm not quite sure where they're getting this, but let's dive into this image that has been teased apparently from Lexus in Japan. Okay. Well, we know we have a new Lexus concept previewing the future of Lexus coming this October at the Tokyo Mobility Show, which I am going to. Me and David Chow from Automotive Press, we're heading over to Japan to give you guys hands-on coverage to the best of our ability through the masses, through the crowds over at the Japan Mobility Show. But this vehicle will be there. And there's some details here we actually haven't seen on Lexus cars before. But what's more important about this vehicle is not necessarily design, but what it brings. We should be seeing 500 miles of range for a Lexus EV. It will be coming in 2026. It'll be using gigacasting and modular platform that we've never seen before on a Lexus or a Toyota. And it will be a performance car. So expect this thing to do 0 to 60 in around 3 seconds. Well, hopefully we get that sort of information, but it's still just a concept, and I don't expect a whole lot of tangibles and metrics for them to communicate other than the design, because this design, we've only seen one concept of it besides this image, and it was this guy right here. Which is kind of like glorified Prius that is fully battery electric. Wheelbase is going to be way bigger, and this thing will have incredible amounts of range. But we've never seen the front of it, and this is totally placeholder here. This was our first glimpse of it that we saw maybe in the spring. And now we have the front end of this vehicle. So what I want to do is not only look at this, but I want to compare it to one of the more conceptualized Lexus production cars ever made, and that's the best Lexus in production and arguably the best Lexus ever made outside the LFA. That is the LC500 that I'm talking about. So we're going to put it up here and compare the two models to see where Lexus is going with the direction of their designs in the era of battery electric vehicles. And there are quite a few similarities here. Let's start at the top. Okay, we know the LC500 is a coupe. It's low to the ground, and this vehicle is also going to be low to the ground as well with a short-ish canopy. Now, we can see that this crops in a little bit more. It's not the same camera angle or the same lens, so keep that in mind. That is going to distort the viewing angle as well. But it looks like we're going to have a lot more interior space on this, despite that the roof isn't much taller than what we have going on the beloved LC500. Okay, moving down from there, the next thing you're going to notice is that we have digital side mirrors, which is still not legal in the United States. And if they're saying, hey, it'll get 500 miles of range, but the asterisk is, well, we have digital side mirrors here, then yeah, I mean, we wouldn't see that sort of range. Maybe it gets a small hit, maybe 10 miles of range for having actual mirrors on the side instead of these digital cameras off of the side. Okay, let's keep moving down. The LC500 has very strong hood lines, and we're seeing strong hood lines here too, but they're quite a bit different. Okay, if you look at the new lines flow off of the L motif daytime running light, where the lines here run off of the spindle grille. So to me, that means, at least how I see it, Lexus is prioritizing the L motif as the design centerpiece instead of the spindle grille here on their next generation car. So the L motif headlight is going to take a bigger role here as a design distinguisher as a Lexus vehicle than it ever has before. And the spindle grille, could it still be there? It's hard to say. So let's take a break here. The spindle grille is being absorbed into the spindle body as we know it. And we have all these Lexus concept designs that are more likely going to see actually the road. What we're seeing here is more of a flagship, and this vehicle in the middle is a flagship as well. But what this car is actually doing is taking a more radical angular design here than what we've seen on these more sculpted, slightly more flowing lines on the front of this IS concept, which please God, make this concept a reality. They've trademarked it, so hopefully it comes by 2025. This IS BEV. I know a lot of you guys are not interested in a BEV IS, but man, this thing, at least from a design aspect, is absolutely beautiful. Could they come out with internal combustion variants of it too? I guess so, but highly unlikely. All right, so this new concept seems to have a different design language than even these concepts shown to us in 2021, with stronger angles, stronger hood lines, more of the super wedge exotic sort of look from Lamborghini compared to the more sculpted, beautiful flowing lines that we have maybe on a Ferrari, some of the lines we see over here. I prefer actually these lines of what I see on these concepts that we haven't seen on the market compared to what we see down here, even though I don't see the front bumper, I don't see the grille, I don't know exactly what's going on. Coming back to the LC here, we have these huge intakes, it looks like, on the outside of the bumper, and they're probably painted black. They're not fully porous. My guess is that they pretty much just sweep air to the very edge here, like we have on the LC 500, as we have these little, teardrop daytime running light things going down, and then you have this aerodynamic piece right there. And I think that's what's going on here without the drop-down teardrop daytime running lights. And then one last detail here that I'm going to leave you with, I think that's all I can take from this, to be honest, is that like those concepts shown in 2021, where the Lexus logo is stamp pressed onto the sheet metal, like Hyundai's doing with their logos on their new models. Like the Kona I just went to Baltimore to drive has that. It makes it look a lot more premium instead of building it in, kind of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Lexus logo here. That it just definitely takes your eyes off of the Lexus logo. And if it does go the Lexus logo, it looks premium. I'll just leave it there. So they're going to be integrating the dynamic radar cruise control out of the Lexus logo and putting it probably somewhere in a sensor bar in the new grille or something like that. So I'll see you guys down below what you think of this so far design of this vehicle that we have coming in at the end of October. This one was placeholder. We could see a lot of these sort of design cues flow into it. This is for sure going to be in that vehicle that we'll see at the end of October. So make sure, like I said, you're subscribed. And let's get into a little piece here that I want to talk about over at Drive, not The Drive. That's an American publication, I believe. But Drive in Australia says Lexus sedans are not dead yet. And I think that concept we talked about is going to shed light on that. I think they know that the LS in its current form is dead. Rest in peace, LS. Once they killed the V8 on that vehicle, boom, it was never the same in my opinion afterwards. And it got like smaller too, at least on the inside. Well, it got bigger on the outside, almost like a Acura TLX sort of situation. Looks big on the outside, small on the inside. Anyways, Lexus says sedan market isn't dead, and they might have some specific models only for the Chinese market. Look, they already have that going on right now with the Toyota lineup sedan with the BZ3, which I wish we had over here, but it is what it is. Now, the ES in China, it takes up half of the brand's volume. So, they're not going to give up on sedans anytime soon. The ES is going to be, if it's so important in China for them, it's going to be hybrid standard. It will be have lots of powertrains, maybe the Hybrid Max powertrain with 340 horse. It'll have a plug-in hybrid powertrain for China. Hopefully it comes here as well. That would be nice. This is the only concept that we've had so far of the ES, which I think the front end actually might look like this of the new ES to some degree. But the side of the vehicle of this ES is current gen. So this was kind of like definitely an early design concept that we saw in 2021. But I do like the front end here. But now that I see it, it looks in some ways a little bit like the new Sonata redesign. But this looks better. But I'm just saying, that's maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I'll see you guys down below on that. Even they're saying the next Lexus IS6 is expected to go fully electric. I wouldn't say as a rival as a Tesla Model 3, expected to be more expensive and a hell of a lot quieter and have better ride quality and better build. Anyways, I don't need to talk about the differences between Toyota's, Lexus's and Tesla's. One last piece here. Toyota, in order to make all these BEVs, we actually have a number coming out of Japan here for total EVs in 2025. And 2022 total global EVs was around 22,000 Toyota Lexus combined. We'll see what it actually shakes out to be by the end of 2023, but by 2025, they're saying 600,000 battery electric vehicles in 2025. I can see that happening. We know, hey, if the Lexus IS BEV is out in 2025, the 3-row BZ5X is out, maybe the BZ3 compact crossover is out. Toyota of Japan just teased that recently again on like their Instagram or something. So yeah, they have, and then the Lexus TZ as well, potentially coming out in 2025. So there are a ton of Toyota and Lexus electric models coming out between now and 2025. The next one to come out, I don't know if we'll see one in 2024, to be honest, at least maybe not in America, unless they bring the compact BZ crossover thing. The BZ3X is what I'm calling it. But yeah, you know, how much of those are going to be the BZ3 that is currently sold over in China, as well as some of their converted EV, like the CHR, I think has EVs over there in China. So how much of this 600,000 is going to be Chinese allocation? 400,000? 500,000? It's really hard to say, but they're going to be apportioning a ton of those EVs for the Chinese market. Now, they want to have about 1.5 million. I've seen anywhere from 1.5 to 1.7 million, to be honest, from different reports that Lexus and Toyota want to have out by 2026 and 3.5 million by 2030. But honestly, like how I see the Chinese market, there's just no profitability in it right now with the cutthroat pricing. So Toyota and Lexus might just try to wait it out as best as possible, offer good products, but not try to fight in the price wars because, yeah, you're not making any money. If they send those products to Europe and the United States, the profit margins you'd think would be higher. It's hard to say. Now, EV production in 2023, they're hoping to sell 150,000 full EVs by the end of this year. So we'll see where if it can get there. And then 190,000 by the end of 2024. So you're going to jump from 22,000 last year to 150,000 this year. It's possible to 190,000 next year. So really reduced. I mean, it's almost like they're just not going to introduce any new EVs next year, but potentially with that small volume bump. And then they go from 190,000 in 2024 to 600,000 in 2025, where they make the, like I said, the 3-row crossover and other EVs here in the United States. It's going to be interesting to see how they're able to ramp up production, where they're going to be producing these vehicles, which models come to the market. And in 2026, that next gen Lexus battery electric vehicle comes out to start a whole new era for Toyota at that point. But I'll see you guys down below. Smash the like button, subscribe so you don't miss my hands-on coverage over in Japan at the Japan Mobility Show, the Tokyo Mobility Show, Japan Motor Show. It's changed names throughout the years, but I'm gonna end it there. Thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.